Hey, good afternoon. My name is Michelle Kuipers, and it has been a long time since I've gone live. And, I guess some of you know that, most of you know, my parents are both old. My dad is 97 and my mom's 94. And, it's a rough journey. Have you ever known anybody that's getting older, your parents, your grandparents, and has dementia? My mom has dementia. It's not really bad just yet. Hey, Erica. Hi, Vicky. It's not really bad, but it's bad enough. And my dad is 97, and they live on their own independently. Just down the street, thank goodness, because they can maintain their independence. I'm close by. But it's a rough thing to go through. And so I just wanted to give you a couple of ideas, things that I'm having to deal with and what I've realized. And so that's what I'm going to talk about today as quickly as possible, because I don't want to keep you too long. But one thing that I've realized is it's so important to accept your role as caregiver. That to me was kind of foreign to say that I was the caregiver to my parents, because they've always been my caregiver. That's what we get used to, and so then those roles switch completely, and it's just bizarre to kind of accept that or realize that you are the caregiver to your parents. And it's a gradual thing, but it definitely has helped, because what happens is that once I accepted that I am their caregiver, even though they live on their own, I was able to reach out and start getting a little bit more information on this when I realized that they are dependent. Just like when you're a parent, you realize this child is dependent on you, and you start taking in as much information as you can, reading books, asking people, asking your doctors, and so on. Well, it's the same thing with your parents, and that's been a really big help, is to accept your role as their caregiver. The other thing is, that was also very tough, is to realize that your parents' faculties, and they don't have to be diagnosed with Alzheimer's, dementia, or anything, their faculties will continue to diminish over time, over years. It's just this decline that you can see, and sometimes it's good days, good weeks, and then boom, it's suddenly, wow, what they were able to do yesterday just really is kind of confounding. They just can't figure it out. Or the memory, that's probably what we most notice, is that the memory, that's a real noticeable thing. But again, by realizing that this is going to happen, you begin to educate yourself more, and you start getting information about this disease, or just old age. And every case is different, but there's a lot of commonalities. And I realized, I was talking to somebody the other day that deals with dementia patients, and his grandmother was really bad. And he said, oh, I can relate to what you're going through, and just be aware it just gets worse. And that hit me in the head. Like, I was just like, oh, yeah, it does. She's never really she's never getting better. She's never gonna remember again. She's never gonna, sorry, I wasn't gonna cry. But, knowledge is power. And so when you start realizing this, hi Sandra, you of all people have gone through this, when you realize that they're not really going to get better, their mind is going to deteriorate, it's a tough pill to swallow. And then the other thing is to realize that caring for a parent with dementia at home will definitely affect your job and your finances. And I don't care how well off they are or not. Even if there's no need for extra money, if they've got all that taken care of. If you're working, honey, that is going to be tough, because as they decline, you're called on more and more and more. This morning I was down there at 8:30 this morning to give them a list of things that need to happen and so on. And by 10 o'clock, I got a phone call and I had to go back down there. So those are things that just happen. And if you think that doesn't affect your job and your finances, it does. Now, it's not that I'm complaining about it, and I would never give that up. But you just kind of have to be flexible and realize that these things, care costs. And whether it's you giving the care or getting full-time care or getting part-time care, I fortunately have been able to take care of this, but I can see the writing on the wall. I'm going to have to start looking at, some caregivers, even if it's just periodically. I cannot do everything on my own, and as much as I'd like to. The other thing that is also, I think, important is to look at alternative or natural treatments. And I don't mean treating Alzheimer's or anything like that, or dementia. I mean a therapy like, I think, pet therapy or music therapy, or, right before Mother was diagnosed, we got her a dog. Her dog had died a year before, and she didn't want to replace that dog. And I was kind of adamant, no, you need a dog. And thank God, because that dog is so much comfort to her, and it's wonderful. Music, she loves music, and she loves word games and crosswords and that type of thing, and bridge. That was a favorite for her. And so she plays modified bridge, and it keeps their mind going. And you can see, I remember Mother, she loves Scrabble, crosswords, bridge, and she was really sad when she could no longer play bridge with her friends. Okay, so that was because it's such a social thing. But now she has different ways of doing it, and I think that's another real important aspect. She fortunately she goes to like an adult care center. It's called Amazing Place here in Houston, and it is fantastic. And even through this pandemic, they can't go, but they do things online, and so she 3 to 5 times a day, she has online activities that are about 30 minutes, and they're mind games. They talk about the newspaper, about articles. It's fantastic. And the thing that I had noticed most about my mom is, wow, Alberto, your mom goes to Amazing Place. It's a fantastic place. Love that place. Can't talk highly enough about it. I'm sure you know. One thing I noticed with my mom is in the afternoon, before she was going to Amazing Place, she would start this sundowning, is what they call it, where she just kind of would glaze over and stare into Never Neverland, or she would open the mail over and over and over, the same stuff. And at Amazing Place, once she started going there, she was busy, she was doing things. Her mind, she was, it was working again. She was being challenged. She was having to fire all those synapses and get everything going. So it's a fantastic program. And I guess that's probably the most important thing, I think, is to realize that you're not alone and that there is help out there. But yeah, the hardest one for me was to realize that she's not getting better. So we just learn to enjoy what we have and the moments we have. So I hope that maybe this was helpful for somebody. And Sandra, I saw you were on here, and 10 siblings. Yeah, that's fantastic. I have 3. They don't live here, but everybody pitches in every way they can. But there is help. So even if you don't have siblings, there's help out there. As a matter of fact, what prompted this call is his doctor, my dad's doctor, just called and said, this is the nurse case manager, and we have, they were checking on him if he needed refills, and they said, what was it they said? They had a dispatch health, so that if I needed somebody to come in, instead of taking him to the doctor. It's kind of old school, doctor's call. That was fantastic. And, all these are things, his own doctor's office has this. I didn't even realize it. So, yeah, if there's anything I can help with, please reach out and contact me, because we're all in this together. And so thanks. I just wanted to stop in and share a little bit with you, and take care. Thank you. Bye.